Yep. So here's the thing. You may have noticed that Nigerian individuals seem to have a high repetitive rate when it comes to social security fraud or, emergency federal benefit fraud, things like that. We have another one. This one is a Nigerian national sentenced to federal prison for rolling an $8 million federal emergency assistance benefit fraud scheme July 1st, 2025. Here you go from the Office of the Inspector General. Quite spicy. Here we go. Greenbelt today, U.S. District Judge Deborah K. Chasanow sentenced Newton Ofioritse Jemide, 47, a Nigerian national extradited from France. I remember that. They literally took him from France and sent him over here to 41 months in federal prison for his role in a scheme to fraudulently obtain federal benefits. Jemide will also serve 3 years of supervised release, pay $520,431.83 of restitution, and a forfeiture money judgment was entered against him in the amount of $311,036.64. Jemide executed his part of the criminal scheme from Nigeria, where he resided when he committed the offense. So basically, he had good enough internet to go ahead and submit those forms to get that federal emergency assistance benefits. Kelly O'Hayes, U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, announced the plea with Joseph V. Kafari, Inspector General for the Department of Homeland Security, Acting Special Agent in Charge Colleen Lawler, Social Security Administration, Office of Inspector General, Philadelphia Field Division, and Special Agent in Charge William McCool, U.S. Secret Service for the Washington Field Office. As a result of the conspiracy, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, provided emergency benefits and compensation for damages to victims affected by declared national emergency disasters such as hurricanes and wildfires. How do they get 8 million? You know what I mean? Like, how do they do it? How do they get away with that? How do they attempt even that? Like, that level of action is just mind-boggling to me. Among other benefits, an individual in an affected area was immediately eligible for critical needs assistance, CNA, to purchase life-saving or life-sustaining materials. Victims could decide how to receive assistance payments, including deposits on prepaid debit cards. According to his guilty plea in 2016 and 2017, Jemide and others from Nigeria directed co-conspirators living in the United States to purchase hundreds of green dot debit cards. Co-conspirators living in Nigeria then registered the cards with Green Dot using stolen personal information from identity theft victims around the United States. How did they get their socials? Sometimes, is it somebody inside the SSA? We know now, yes. Sometimes it's somebody selling personal information from inside the SSA. Jemide and his co-conspirators used an encrypted messaging application and other means to communicate. In 2017, following Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria, the California wildfires, Jemide and other co-conspirators from Nigeria used stolen personal information to apply online for FEMA and CNA benefits. FEMA dispersed $500 per claim on the Green Dot debit cards that the co-conspirators purchased for a total of at least $8 million. Imagine how many cards you would need. Just take for a moment. Okay, one moment. FEMA dispersed $500 per claim on the Green Dot debit cards that the co-conspirators purchased for a total of at least $8 million. In addition to filing false disaster assistance claims with FEMA, Jemide and co-conspirators also submitted false online claims for Social Security benefits, IRS tax fraud refunds, and other government benefits using stolen identities of multiple individuals, including names, addresses, Social Security numbers, and other personal identifiers. As a result of fraudulent submissions, FEMA and other federal agencies deposited benefits onto the Green Dot debit cards. The funds were deposited on the debit cards using multiple stolen identities, including identities different from the identities used to register the cards. Jemide and select co-conspirators informed other co-conspirators when the fraudulent funds became available on the debit cards and gave them information to cash out the funds from the cards in exchange for a commission. Additionally, The co-conspirators took steps to conceal their identities by enlisting others to make purchases and withdrawals utilizing multiple store and bank locations and methods of withdrawal, and making money orders payable to other individuals and or corporate entities. U.S. Attorney Hayes commended DHS, SSA, the USSS, all with their OIG divisions, for their work in the investigation, and thanked the Justice Department Office of International Affairs and the U.S. Marshal Service for their valuable assistance in securing the extradition of Jemide to the United States. Ms. Hayes also thanked Assistant U.S. Attorney Elizabeth Wright and Darren Gardner, who are prosecuting the federal case. All right. What happened? He figured out a loophole to basically go ahead and get these green dot debit cards. And he would buy stolen personal information. Okay. Usually from the dark web, could be from somebody inside the Social Security Administration selling, PII, stuff like that. Then he would go ahead and file requesting, these emergency funds, emergency benefits. He would file for any type of program that he could potentially get some money out of the federal government from. I mean, $8,500,000 on the dot cards per car. I mean, they must have been working overtime. They must have had teams of people working this scam. Now, what does this mean? I have noticed that Nigeria tends to turn out a lot of fraud and scam schemes. India tends to also have a lot of individuals that do fraud and scam schemes. So the bottom line is, to be fair with this, we tend to see individuals doing higher dollar, smarter, higher level fraud schemes from those two particular countries. There's other ones as well. Russia is up there, of course. Now, what can we learn from this? What we know is that our identities, our secretly held social security number is not really safe. Where we live, not really safe. When it comes to the information that's already out there on the web. We know that they're taking out loans, they're requesting emergency assistance, they're doing all these things. The best thing you can do to beat this Nigerian and his friends in the future is make sure that you watch your credit reports. Now, you're never going to catch all the emergency disaster relief funds and stuff like that, but make sure you go ahead and watch your credit reports. Update the IRS every year with what your current address and phone number are. That's crucial. Now, sometimes it gets sucked into the IRS from the SSA when you update the SSA, but if you haven't reached out to the SSA with an updated address and phone number, even if it's the same one, just to say, hey, I still live here, that's important because these guys will get your checks sent to a new address, and that's a problem. All right. I will catch you all at the next video. We're going to be going there very, very soon. That's where I answer questions for free using this wonderful little thingy right here, which holds the phone right here. Boop. I will catch you at the next video in about 10 minutes. Attorney Walter Hnot. We will answer questions about Social Security disability benefits and have a very good time. Please remember to like and subscribe. Head over to Google. Type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Throw some stars up there if I help you out or you enjoy the videos. Also, I have partnered with basically a Medicare group called Chapter. I do not do Medicare. I just don't. It's not my thing. I don't want to spend time on it. They can go ahead and help you out, tune up your Medicare benefits. Give them a call, askchapter.org/disability. Boop, right there. Bottom line is they can go ahead and see if you have the best or not. I don't want to say best because that's not a good legal term. The right program for you that would fit essentially with whatever your medical needs are, your medications, your impairments, etc. Remember, they're massive. They're nationwide. They have access to more programs than any other group. So they can really look and see like what would be a good customizable one for you. So anyways, I don't do Medicare. Call them. I will catch you in the next video in about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's rock and roll, and we will have a wonderful live session where I answer questions about Social Security disability law for free. I go live on Mondays and Thursdays to do that. If you want to hire me for a private session just to get access to my brain for 1 hour, mini contract is below. I will catch you a little bit later, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Attorney Walter Hnot. Bye-bye.